Hey guys, good morning. It's first day of summer program. It was great to see each of you guys a little while ago, and glad we were able to get started on a good note and kick off the summer program. So nice to see you guys. I'm glad you're going to be part of the program, and I'm also glad you found my YouTube channel. So yeah, you just simply have to go to YouTube, type in my name, and obviously at this point you've subscribed. So each day there'll probably be a video that I direct you to. I'll either direct you to the video by an email I send to you, or when we're in the Zoom chat I might mention that you need to go to watch a video. And the video will have the date, it'll have the topic of the video, and so it'll be pretty easy to find. But like I said, just about every day of the summer program, there'll be a short video to watch and then an activity to do that goes along with the video. And then we'll come together at the end of the day, each day, in a live Zoom to review what you did, go over the questions, answer any questions, or address any problems you might have had. So that's kind of how the format of summer school is going to go. So we'll get together early in the morning for a Zoom. We'll go over the day, the schedule. We'll set goals. We'll set some home chores for the night, and then we'll have a topic that we discuss. So this morning we did a social skills topic, had a great discussion. There could be a short activity that we do together, and then I'll give you a break, and then we'll get back together later in the morning after you watch your video and do your assignment to review the video, review the assignment, and check in with one another before we say goodbye for the day. At the end of each session, each day, we'll talk about your chores for the night, give you a chance to write an email, and I'll be here for support for you while you write your email. And then that'll be it for the day. So each day will be about 2 hours, and that'll be the format that we'll have. So this first video today is going to be on Paychecks. So each of you guys at some point is going to start working in the community for a paycheck, and so it's going to be really important that you understand how paychecks work. Some of this might be review for you. For some of you, this might be brand new information. But summer school really is about that. It's really about reviewing things that you have already done and occasionally introduce new concepts, but we don't want to introduce a lot of new things. So paychecks, I know you all know and have heard about a paycheck, and typically I bet you know most of what goes into a paycheck. But today we're going to talk about some specific things that go into a paycheck and that you should know, and then we're going to do an activity that goes along with it. Now, you've got an email in your box with a couple of documents in it. One of those documents looks something like this. It's called Sample Paycheck Stub, and as you can see right here, there are terms that are very important that we go over. We're going to go over those in a few minutes. Okay. Then on the back, or on a second attachment, you're going to see a sample paycheck stub. This is an actual paycheck stub with the different information in it. So those are two attachments that you have in your inbox of your email that you're going to go to when we're done with this video, so that you can do the worksheets and have these. And the third worksheet that you're going to have, and this is the one that you're going to actually do some work on, is paycheck calculations. And you can see a bunch of numbers here with a formula, a group of formulas up here, and some numbers down here. And I will, again, this is going to be your assignment once you're done watching this video. You're going to open this attachment and work on this, and then later we're going to get back together in a Zoom and we're going to review this together. Okay, so if you don't know the answers to all of these, not a big deal. We'll go over it together. Okay, So let's start with the first worksheet that looks like this. Sample paycheck stub. Okay, so you guys can open that now in your email box so that you can see it. It says, when you have your first paycheck in hand, it seems like you didn't make much money as you had expected. And the question is, why? Why didn't you make as much money? And the answer is because deductions are taken out of your paycheck. These deductions include things such as income tax, Social Security tax, Medicare, state or local taxes, and possibly the cost of health insurance or other employer-sponsored plans. Check each pay stub that you get to make sure that your deductions are correct. And that's why we're going to learn about these things today, so you can be on top of your paycheck and the deductions and your actual money that you get. Payroll departments can make mistakes also. Keep your pay stubs so that you have them to show proof of earnings. So when you make a paycheck and you have a pay stub, it's a great idea to keep a file and store them in the file, in a folder, so that you have them. I wouldn't throw them away. Okay? So the first term is called rate, and the rate is the hourly rate that you're paid. Typically, rate is also called your wage. You know, what is minimum wage? In Massachusetts, I believe minimum wage is around $11 or $12, and that's what you would make every hour that you work. So that's the rate. The hourly rate that you work is how much money you make per hour. The next term is hours. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you work 8 hours, that's the number of hours you work that day. Hours are very important to keep track of because you might have shifts that have different hours. On a Monday, you might work 3 hours. Tuesday, you might work 5 hours. Wednesday, you might not work at all. Thursday, you might work 4 hours. And Friday, you might work 3 hours. It's really important that you keep track of your hours because your paycheck is going to have the hours on it, and you have to make sure that the hours that you have match the hours that the company has for you. The next term is called this period, and it says how much you were paid during this period. Some people get paid in 1 week chunks, some people get paid in 2 week chunks. Okay, so it's very important that you see that as well, and that's the dates that you're getting paid and how much you got paid for that period of time. Year to date is how much you've earned in that year. Okay, so the year 2020, it's going to keep track of all your paychecks, and there'll be a big number at some point, especially as you get further into the year, and it's going to tell you how much you've earned for that year. That's called year to date pay. And then the last two terms, and these are really important, gross pay and net pay. Gross pay is the hours you worked multiplied by the rate, and that's going to give you a number, and that's your gross pay. That's how much money you earned before deductions. Your net pay is that same amount subtracting your deductions, and we're going to talk about deductions in a second now. Once you take away your deductions, you're going to have your net pay. And your net pay is literally the amount of money that the bank will give you to put in your pocket. So you might earn $300 in gross pay, but only take home $250. They're going to take out $50 for various deductions so that you can pay your taxes and pay your insurance, and then the $250 goes in your pocket. So let's get into deductions. Okay, I'm moving kind of quickly through this, but it's really important that we get through these terms. Federal and state income tax. These are the largest deductions from your paycheck. The money helps pay the military, the roads, the schools, the police, and a whole bunch more. So your federal taxes, that goes to the national government, and your state taxes, that goes to Massachusetts, are taken out of your pay, and then everybody's money gets put into a state fund or a federal fund to pay firemen, policemen, repair the roads, things like that. Social Security and Medicare tax, that's another tax that's going to get taken from your gross pay. This deduction pays for 1/2 of your Social Security and Medicare benefits. Your employer pays the other half. About 8 out of every $100 you earn goes to pay these taxes. So Social Security and Medicare are benefits that you're going to get later in life, and they take money out of your paycheck each week to go into those funds, and then when you retire someday, you're going to get that fund back. Or if you get sick someday, you're going to get those monies back to help pay for your sickness. It says that it's about 8 out of every $100, or your employer is going to pay half. That depends on the employer. Some employers pay more, some employers pay less. But in general, you're going to have those deductions taken out of your pay, and those are going to go into a fund. Okay? Health coverage, the amount that you pay for your plan. So you might have a Harvard Pilgrim, or you might have Fallon, some type of medical coverage, health coverage, so that when you go to the doctor, you don't have to pay the whole bill. This is another benefit where your company will sometimes match or pay a portion of it. So if the bill is $300, they might take $75 out of your pay for this, and then your company will pay the other $225. Or you might pay half and your company will pay half. All right? So that's a very important one, because medical expenses are very high. Doctor's visits and surgeries and things like that cost a lot of money, and you don't want to be paying out of pocket for that. So a little bit out of your pocket, but your company will pay a portion of that. Life and disability insurance, the amount you pay for insurance, you may be able to choose how much coverage you want to have. So this is in the event that, if you have life insurance, you might pay into a life insurance policy, and then if something were to happen to you where you pass away, your wife or your family member will get your benefit so that they can live. This usually happens when people get married, so you guys probably don't have to worry about that right now. Disability insurance, you might want to take out money for that, because that would pay in case you get hurt and disabled on the job. That money would be helpful to pay you while you're sick or laid up in the hospital or recovering from an injury. And then retirement plans, these are things that you can choose to take money out for. They go into different kinds of retirement plans, so that when you retire down the road at 65, there'll be money there available for you so that you can live in your retirement and have some money. I want to go back to your Social Security and Medicare. I said that the deduction pays for 1/2 of your Social Security and Medicare benefits. I'm not sure on that 1/2 piece. I know it says that here on your document. Let's just think of it this way. A portion of your pay is going to go into Social Security, and a portion of your pay is going to go into Medicare. How much your employer pays on this, I'm not really sure. I don't even want to get into that. Let's just assume for now that it's going to be a deduction out of your pay that's going to go into a fund that will be there for you at some point when you need it. Okay? So that's a review of your paycheck stub worksheet. Those are the important terms. Okay? So you now have this. It's in a video. You're watching it now. If you had to go back and review the video to learn about those things, you can do that. On the back, there's a sample pay stub, okay? And again, you have this in an email, so you might want to take a look at this. It's got your earnings, it's got the rate, it's got the hours, it tells you your gross pay right here. It has your deductions, and then down the bottom you can see your net pay. So when you take your gross pay and you subtract your deductions, you equal your net pay, okay? So that's a worksheet there that would help you. It'd be nice to have this printed out if you could, or at least on your computer screen, because the final document, and this is what you're going to work on for an assignment, is here. This is a paycheck calculations worksheet. The key to this worksheet, I'll be honest with you, is those numbers up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the formulas that are going to help you to answer the questions going down here. Okay? So what I did was I have columns: hours worked, rate per hour, gross pay, deductions, and net pay. Some of the numbers I've filled in already. So on this one I said 20 hours worked, 10 hours per hour. I want you to figure out the gross pay. That's why there's a little number 1. And in order to get the answer to that, you would go up to this number 1 here and read this formula and use this formula. So in order to figure this out, you're going to take the hours worked multiplied by the rate to give you the gross pay. So you'd go back down here, 20 times 10, and then you would put that number here. Then I give you the amount of deductions, and then what I want you to figure out is the net pay. And the net pay is the second definition. Okay? The net pay is your gross pay subtracting the deductions will give you your net pay. So again, you just figured out your gross pay, so you're going to take that number and you're going to take away this number to get this number. So that's what happens on each of these. The numbers that I give you will help you to find the numbers that I didn't give you. And if there's a small little number here, that tells you what definition to use to figure out the answer. So what I'd like you to do now is go back, get this worksheet out, and you're going to work on this worksheet. And when we come together in a little while, we're going to review the answers to this. Okay, do your best. All right, guys? All right, good luck with the worksheet, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.